Get ready to take a look behind the scenes and enter the impossible for the Between Two Minds podcast with our hosts, Judge Mentalist and Bernardo Rodriguez. Can they really tell you what you're thinking?
What's going on out there, internet world, hypnosis world, and beyond? It's Judge Mentalist coming at you. You probably, if you were anticipating this one, thought we weren't doing it because I had a little call that ran me late, and here we are. But we are here. We are talking about the upcoming Michigan International Hypnosis Conference. That is going to be, if you don't already know, then I don't know why. Maybe you're just tuning into this for the very first time, but that is this September, the 12th through the 14th. Register now, okay? If you are watching this live or shortly after, registration for the conference is $200, but it is going up on July 31st. So save that money, get it in on the cheap rate right now. Don't want to waste too much time since I am already running late. This is a special episode. Well, it's not that much special. It is to me because I am, if you don't know me, from Maryland, and so is today's presenter. So we got a little 410 area code connection going on here. So without further ado, we're going to talk about Wholeness and his upcoming talk at the 2025 Michigan International Hypnosis Conference. Welcome, Dennis Lawson. Good afternoon, Dennis.
Good afternoon, Judge. How's it going?
It's wonderful. I got sirens in the background. Everything's kind of just whatever. It is what it is.
Gotta enjoy the excitement, brother.
That's right. That's right. So what's going on, my friend? We're solidifying this Maryland connection and taking over Michigan in just a few months here. Let's start with telling us a little bit more for anybody who doesn't know about your background, your history, your experience. Obviously we're going to talk about what you're going to talk about, but let's get into this so people know that you're qualified and you're worth listening to.
All right. Well, Judge, I work with clients to uncover those hidden patterns that might be holding them back from exploring their dreams as a coach and a consulting hypnotist. My exposure to hypnosis really started when I was 15 years old. And that at that same time is when I began martial arts training. But in terms of hypnosis, my oldest brother, who also studied psychology at the University of New Orleans, where I'm originally from, said to me one night, I'm a 15-year-old kid, hey, we're going to this class, man. Why don't you come with us? This guy's going to hypnotize us. And after that experience, it became a driving influence on my life, as did the martial arts. So, read everything I could, got my first formal training, in 1991? And everything's been a lark ever since, believe me.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, it's, I can imagine being introduced to this at a younger age, because I do stage shows. Mm-hmm. It's entertainment. A lot of my shows, I'd say half-ish to 60% are either in high schools or for high school students. Sometimes I'm doing fundraiser shows, so it's a mixed audience. But those kids, those 16, 17, 18, maybe occasionally a hanger-on or 19-year-old, mm-hmm. with my shows, when it's time to fill those seats, it's a mad dash. It is, yeah, let's go. So to get introduced to this, but not necessarily just from the, hey, let's be silly and have fun perspective, but from the, oh, you can do amazing stuff for people with this. That's got to be a real linchpin. I mean, obviously it is for you, but to like, if I knew about half this stuff when I was that age, I may have never done anything else. Like, I get it. I feel it. Because I still remember the very first show that I did, which was as an adult, and having been in the performance world for years, but just not doing hypnosis, that I
Mhm.
still talk to people and describe that first time that I tossed, some napkins up in the air, which to my volunteers were now $100 bills. And I just saw those eyes light up and those hands
Yeah.
reach up, and people go nuts. Like, that's the high I've been chasing now for years. Like, it's ingrained in my soul. So to have had an experience that was not just silly time, whew, that would have been very different for me. So, how do you have? How do you? Obviously, things have changed. You've been doing this back before what we consider to be the technology that allows us to do things like we're doing right now ever even existed. So, what does your practice look like today? Are you working with people? Do you go to an office? Like, what's all that look like?
I do quite a bit of live one-on-one these days. Thank Thanks to COVID finally being over, and many people desiring that greater rapport that you can get when you're sitting in the same room. I find that many of my business coaching clients are really completely comfortable with doing things virtually, and I'm very comfortable doing hypnosis or even life between lives work virtually as well. Uh, I was a little hesitant at first, even though I learned how to do that in theory. And then I had a former client of mine contact me who had immigrated to Tel Aviv and
Hmm.
said, "Look, I need a session, you know, and what do you do, right, Judge?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm there for you."
exactly.
And from there, that moved me past my fears, and I got very comfortable working virtually as well.
So you have now told me everything I need to know, that if you wanted to get into the entertainment side of this, you totally could. You just told me your say yes and figure it out story, because that on the entertainment side of things that's the mantra. Somebody says,
And-
"Hey, can you do this?" Yeah, of course. Okay, when do you need me to figure it out? I mean, do it. Uh,
right.
and
Yeah,
if you got that in you, you're good. You'll figure the
it's
rest of it out.
it's the first lesson you learn in improv. Yes, and here we go.
Exactly, exactly. So now this has given me a curiosity, and I promise that we're to you and to everybody that's watching that we are going to get to your topic, and we'll
Sure.
talk about it. But the business clients of yours, the
Mhm.
people that are, I'm assuming here, and I don't think I'm taking too many liberties with this assumption, that are busy people with a ton of stuff going on.
Guaranteed.
Do you notice the same level of success when they're doing this with you virtually as when they're in person? Because for me personally, I don't, that's not for me. The virtual thing, like, obviously certain things, tidbits and bits and
Mhm.
pieces are fine. But like, when I learned to do this, I passed up on several opportunities to learn hypnosis virtually because I knew myself and that it wasn't going to fly, and that I've got too many things going on, and there's stuff happening left and right of me and distractions. I mean, look behind me and tell me I'm not distracted. Okay. It is in my blood. So, I passed on opportunities until I had the chance to actually go somewhere and immerse. Now, when I
Mhm.
immerse, it's very easy for me to shut everything down around me. But when I'm in this environment where everything's going on, it's a totally different situation. Like, I find myself, I actually just recently picked back up on the Mike Mandel hypnosis course,
Sure.
and I had made it through about 9 lessons.
Mhm.
And then it was just, and most of that was done on an airplane with Wi-Fi, because I was
Like while I was traveling, yeah.
exactly, like, now I'm in a zone where and I've committed
Mhm.
myself now, but it took to throw in, an important principle. It took me being at the threshold of, you know what, I'm doing it. It's just going to happen. I'm going to knock this thing out. It shouldn't take me that long, and I've now committed myself. But clearly, in the past, I wasn't ready. what do you notice differences between, especially, I mean, specifically with those busy business clients of yours, similar results?
Actually, I do get similar results, but to a great extent, that's part of the overall coaching approach that I take. By the time the average new client has had 2 or 3 sessions with me, they've learned at least one method of self-hypnosis, maybe a couple, depending on what seems to work more effectively for them. And as you know, it once learned, it's easy to go back there. You reinforce the emotion, you reinforce the relaxation in the mindset, and you tell them, hey, now it's your tool.
Exactly. Perfect. Perfect. So let's fast forward now to a month and a
Mhm.
half ish from now. We're in Michigan. What are people coming to talk to you or hear you talk about?
Well, the title Wholeness really comes from the larger title, which is metaphors, parts, and perspectives. You talked earlier about being distracted and somewhat scattered and not being able to get on track until you said, yes, I'm going to do this. And so often we get caught in those kinds of dialogues. You know, we've all had those experiences where you get angry and you see red, or you you're touched so deeply by a romantic movie, you're crying. Those are essentially hypnagogic states that we
Yeah.
slip into through our emotion. And in terms of a therapeutic environment, a hypnotherapist environment, oftentimes we're now talking about the different parts that developed through our upbringing, different aspects of our own personality. For example, I may have a skill as a stage performer, but I also have skills in other business concerns. Well, the idea toward wholeness is to be able to take those multiple perspectives that we all have to get through these busy lives and ideally bring them together. And by bringing them together, we're beginning to integrate those different points of view. And because of that, we're able to access them more effectively. So, so in September, we'll go through a number of different exercises. We'll talk to an empty chair like a Gestalt therapist. We'll put parts together on our hands like an NLP practitioner. And then I hope to take the class into a larger, more transpersonal integration that allows all of those different aspects of themselves to come together so that they have that felt sense of renewal and integration.
So ultimately, your talk can fix me. And it sounds like we're already in the middle of session number one with getting me where I really need to be, because I am
Right.
definitely that person that just, I'll take it on. Let's go. Like, pile it up. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And it does. It creates a world. I have started saying this over the past couple of months. There are now three things that are guaranteed in life: death, taxes. We all know about those, and opportunities for distraction, because we live in this world now where everything is getting thrown at us all
Exactly.
sorts of different direction. It's a world of noise and nobody hears anything.
We are drowning in information, yet thirsting for wisdom. I think I'm paraphrasing Tony Robbins, but don't quote me on that.
Well, whatever it is that you're saying, I look out my window and see it all day, every day, and I think everybody else does too. So, whether you are paraphrasing it or hitting it spot on, it's very accurate with these times. So, this is really great. This sounds like foundational stuff. Now, when you're working with people, I mean, I'm assuming that, I mean, this is stuff where you may not even necessarily need to know what the specific issues are. You can get people working within themselves without even needing to disclose a whole lot to you. I mean, obviously they can, but if they're uncomfortable with that, if you've got somebody in there that's just, I don't know, I'm here, I need help, but
Right.
you know, I don't know how much I want to give you yet. Like you can still work within those confines because you're working within your client.
The advantage of so much of this approach is that you're allowing the unconscious mind to do the work. And our challenge as hypnotist is to be able to develop the right languaging for that client to get them to that space. And then, being a transpersonal hypnotherapist, I call on my guides, I ask a lot of help, and sometimes the right phrases flow through me. I've often said, Judge, that when I'm doing my best work, it's like I'm not even there. I've had clients come out and say, yeah, and when you said blah, 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 it really went right through me. It really brought me where I needed to go. And I'm going, I don't remember saying that because you're very much in that flow.
You get in your
And
own flow state when you're working. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Happens to me on stage all the time. You just get into autopilot and you become so fluid. You go where you need to go with a client. You go where they need you to go. They're taking you as much as you're taking them.
right. And you hope in a stage performance, you've got somebody on the side saying, hey, you got to get off. It's time.
Well, I mean, I've got a set list that even
Right.
though I've been doing this for a while now, I still don't take chances on that little lapse that might set in. So the
Sure.
set list is always on my stage, and then I've got audio cues that really line everything up. So it's kind of a secondary set list.
Right.
But so I'm usually pretty good on time no matter how into it I get. I may run 5 to 10 minutes over sometimes if I've got a just that just amazing group of folks
It's
up on
just
stage.
going. Yeah, sure.
But it's okay because I don't want to stop because they don't want to stop, and neither does anybody out in the audience. So it works, And I will typically, as the show's about to start, hey, you know, are we hard and fast on time, or if this runs over a little bit, are we cool? So I usually get permission first. I'm on that front of it, but yeah, this is some really interesting stuff, and you mentioned the not remembering all of the things and just kind of saying things that are super profound. Vinny Bergantz, who I'm sure you know from either this
Oh,
conference or the
yeah.
community or otherwise, I saw him post something, and he's going to be at the conference. I believe he's the closing keynote speaker.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Um, but one of the video clips that he posted the other week that really just, and I do know I'm learning more on the clinical side of things, but I don't do clinical work yet. I don't know that I ever will on a even part-time basis, but tools in the tool belt and more of an understanding and just for everything I do is super important to me. But he said sometimes you get the most information out of a client by being wrong, because you throw something out there, let's say about a cause or a root issue with
Mhm.
something, and let that client listen to that client, let them correct you. Because if you miss that target, that's perfect because they're going to pull the arrow out and put it right back in to that bullseye for you. And now, okay, we're there. We're where we need to be. And that's all you want is to get there. There's no pride or ego in it because at the end, if you walk out of this session or this series of sessions and you are where you want to be, the destination's the important part now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Vinny in that metaphor of, oh, that one missed. Okay. And let the client tell you where you missed, where the issue is. Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean that's what you want to be right, and you don't need to
right.
be the mind reader. Just get
Far
close enough
from it.
and let them put it back on track for you.
Right.
Fantastic. Anything else that stands out about your talk that is the hey why you gotta come to this one, why you definitely don't want to miss it? I think we might want to make sure we don't have any. We got some comments in here, but no questions yet. Feel free if you're watching live, and we got a handful of folks watching live. If you have questions for Dennis, we're not going to give up too much of the talk, but feel free to drop them in because he's here right now to answer those questions. And obviously, the best thing to do, get yourself registered for the Michigan Hypnosis Conference, preferably before the price goes up in 9 days. Yeah, 9 days the price goes up, or maybe 10 days. I'm not Dan. I don't run it. I don't work there, which is why I don't know all the things. But hey, I love it, and I'm happy to help spread the word and promote this as much as possible. So please be there. It's a lot of fun.
Judge, I think the thing that I would hope would draw my fellow hypnotist and anyone interested into this talk about metaphors and parts and perspectives toward wholeness is that I'll give a little bit of information, maybe make some references to neuroscience and our default mode network and our executive networks and how the salience network works with it. But those are all metaphors too, and go right into an exercise, right into an experience. Oh, here's a little more information, but let's do this experience now so that I hope to interweave both the logical functions as well as the experiential aspects into 50 minutes of focused play at hypnosis.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds exciting. I have not looked at the schedule to see. I always want to tell people I'm going to be at your talk, but I don't know when my talk is. So there's one time slot that I guarantee that whoever's up against me, I won't see their talk, and I don't know who that is yet. Because I haven't looked because I'm very much we're there, we're in. I go,
Right,
I immerse. So yeah, be there, immerse, learn a lot of things, and yeah, Amanda, who I know that
oh,
doesn't have
yeah,
questions,
sure.
but she loves hearing you drop insights, and you will love these insights too. So get yourself to the Michigan International Hypnosis Conference. Something for everybody there. I've said this over and over again, but I'm going to treat each of these like it's the only one that you're watching. So whether you are on the performance side of things or the clinical side of things or anywhere in between, maybe you want to dabble on the other side of that so-called fence. If you come to the Michigan International Hypnosis Conference, you will learn very much so that there is no fence, that this is
Amen.
one great big swimming pool that we're all swimming in. And I think that of all the conferences that I've gone to, it is probably the best one at not blurring those lines between stage and clinical, but really just eliminating them and making it just a full understanding and great networking. And maybe if you don't do whichever of those, it's a great way to just connect with resources of, hey, as a stage performer, when those 15 people on average per show come up to me and say, can you help me with this, that, or the other, at least have a resource that you could say, I don't, but talk to this
Right.
person, connect them with that person, and
Hmm.
hopefully that turns around, that person helps you put butts in seats at your shows, or maybe you perform in their area if they're from somewhere else. Either way, there's a lot of great networking synergy if you go out there to find it, and of course all the learning, which is fantastic. So we've been running here at the time that we usually run. So any last thoughts before we send people on their way and get them geared up to get to Michigan?
Well, I just want to say happy birthday to Amanda since today is her birthday.
That's right.
And hope to see both you and her and Vinny and Dan and such a great crowd up there in Michigan. I will say that last year was my first year going to the Michigan conference, and I experienced exactly what you described. Those lines didn't get blurred, there weren't any lines.
Yeah.
And we had great opportunity to talk with each other and discuss issues and and throw caution to the wind because we all had a similar interest in this unique aspect of the human mind.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So we are less than 2 months away, 10 days until the price goes up. So get there. Thank you so much for spending time with me. My apology. Although, hey, maybe I'm going to be late on all of these because we have far more people watching this live than I normally do. And I think that's because people know when the time is and they have kind of like I did, where I got tied up on a call. There's other things going on. And, oh, yeah, I need to do this thing. Well, I'm sitting there on that call the whole time thinking about I need to do this thing. Like, let's can it. We're done. But here we are. So come on down. See you in a few months. Oh, we got a little thank you there from Amanda. Wonderful. Let's have cake in 2 months. It'll be
All right.
We'll celebrate everybody's birthday together. How's that sound? For the whole year. Everybody's getting one this year. Wonderful. Again, thank you so much. We'll see you in a couple months, if not before. Have a great time. Be safe out there, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Between Two Minds Behind the Scenes podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media under Between Two Minds with the number 2 instead of TWO, or under Enter the Impossible. Thank you, and we hope to see you back for the next episode.